But I believe, like President Trump, if you punch us in the face, we need to make sure you never chew your own food again. And that's what we will do.
That is a apt visual metaphor, I guess you could say.
That's what you get from a former martial arts.
Yeah, I was going to say the former MMA fighter made that pretty clear. But I think, Senator, and this is an important point, not only a former martial arts fighter, but you spent a lot of time in this region with the Department of Defense, behind enemy lines. You understand not only the Middle East culture, but also the Iranian, the Persian culture, which is different. In a few hours, the Israelis have taken out the Iranian Revolutionary Guard leadership. They've taken out, reportedly, the chief of staff of their military.
Can I make a point?
Please do, Dan.
I got to say, I think our role here is not to parrot the American official position. There is absolutely no way Israel would have done this without coordination with the Americans.
Well, I think we know that.
Well.
We know that.
Coordination is different.
Yeah, it's absolutely clear that this is part of an American-Israeli operation.
I don't agree with that.
Dan, let's not squabble over the semantics. It's clear the Israelis gave the United States a heads up.
Well, Clay gave us a heads up as they were about ready to go. But to say, that it was coordinated with the United States, I don't think so. President.
To be fair, though, something interesting happened, right? A couple of months ago, there was a leak to the New York Times. Right. The Israelis are ready to strike. And the Israelis were quite upset about that because they backed off.
Right.
This time Senator, this time that didn't happen. Do we really believe that if President Trump had said, don't do this to the Israelis, they would have gone ahead?
I don't know if I believe they probably would have went forward if they felt like it was imminent that they were going to get their nuclear weapon. However, I don't believe the president told them to stand down, obviously, because if they did, they might have. But to say that this was coordinated with the United States is outlandish because, let me just put this, I'll put it out this way again. We don't have people that fight our wars for us. We will do it ourselves. There's a lot of countries out there that'll do that. And so for us to say, if this was coordinated, we would go in with them. We wouldn't send them without us.
Okay, well, I think that's a perfectly reasonable point. Dan, stand by 1 second. I want to bring in Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, you and I have known each other for an awfully long time on this issue. In fact, you and I talked about it in Israel circa 2013, 2012. You made a trip over, and we spent some time together. I view this as an incredible inflection point in the Middle East. We will go back and look at today, June 12th, Friday the 13th in Tehran, if you want to believe in a little bit of irony, as something like October 7th, the Yom Kippur War, the 67 War, September 11th, these major inflection points in history. I don't know how, at some point, the Israelis stop without the Middle East being fully changed 3 or 4 days from now.
Well, listen, I agree that tonight is tremendously consequential. I think in many ways tonight was inevitable. It was on April 12th that President Trump said to the Ayatollah, you have 60 days to negotiate. Those 60 days expired tonight. If you look at the red line that President Trump drew in the sand, the red line was that Iran must completely dismantle their nuclear centrifuges, dismantle them all, and end enrichment. This morning, Iran publicly stated they would not dismantle their centrifuges and they were going to build more, they were going to enrich more, and they were moving towards nuclear weapons. That in effect, was a giant middle finger to President Trump. And that was also telling Israel, attack us now, because if you wait any longer, we will have a nuclear weapon, and we may use that nuclear weapon to murder vast numbers of Israelis. And so Israel is acting to defend itself. Number one, most importantly, I want to say I stand unequivocally with the state of Israel. I believe America stands with Israel. But I want to say something else. Every one of your viewers that is a person of faith, I want to ask you, pray for the people of Israel. Pray for Jerusalem. And pray for our American servicemen and women that are in bases in the Middle East who are in harm's way. Iran may well strike at them. And I want to speak directly to the Ayatollah who chants death to America and death to Israel. Understand, if you attack American military bases, if you kill even one American serviceman or woman, President Trump will respond with overwhelming force. So do not do so. But tonight is a perilous time, but it is also a time when Israel is acting to defend herself. And I'll tell you at the same time, stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon is a massive favor to Americans, because an Iranian nuclear weapon, we could well discover with it being detonated in the skies of Tel Aviv or the skies of New York or Los Angeles. And so I think we should do whatever is necessary to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. That's what Israel's doing tonight.